Hey, Roadrunners fans. Hope everybody's doing well. Adrian Jennings joined now by Kyle Capabianco from Arizona Coyotes training camp up in Glendale. Kyle, how's it going today?
Going great. How are you?
Great to see you. It's been a little bit, but I know everybody's excited to get back out onto the ice. You guys are practicing a day off today, but how's practice gone so far? Great to see everybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, really good to see everyone and get back on the ice and start competing again.
Well, let's take some questions. We've had our season ticket members submit some questions. They're good ones. You've seen them. I sent them to you. Just
Yep.
didn't want to catch you off guard. But let's start with our first question. Let's just go. Brandon Tucson checking in, and his question is: did you collect hockey cards as a kid? And what about your own cards now? Are you excited to collect those now that you're a pro hockey player?
Yeah, so it actually started with my brothers. They used to have like this kind of chest with a bunch of binders in it, just filled with old hockey cards. And then I just kind of carried it on. And with my hockey team growing up, we used to trade cards if we had two of the same guy and try to collect the whole set.
Very good. Good question from Brad. And what about your own cards?
Yep.
Have you come across any of those?
I've seen a few online, but we don't really. They don't really give us any. So I mean, unless a fan sends me some, I wouldn't have any.
The invitation's there. We've got a new address, Kyle. 300 Paseo Redondo Drive, and of course the Gila River Arena up in Glendale. If you got a Kyle
Yep.
Capabianco card, send it to the Coyotes and Roadrunners, care of Kyle, and we'll make sure that he gets those because that's an awesome thing. I know a couple years ago, the team I was with did hockey cards, and for some reason, I guess they needed to make 25 people involved or something, and so they put me in there, and then all of a sudden, I got a big stack of them, and it's in my parents' home in my old bedroom, and who knows what we're ever going to do with those. But
Very nice.
it's fun to see yourself on a card. Here's a question. It's kind of topical. Can you really hear the fans on the ice when you're out in the arena playing, say on a Saturday night at the Tucson Arena or a road game in San Diego? Do you hear those fans when you're on the ice or you're on the bench? You've got some fun folks behind you.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to hear the dynamic of the fans. You hear it more in between whistles, but when the play's going on, you kind of zero in and more focus on just listening to hearing the guys or really focused on your play. But definitely in between whistles, when they get loud, we feed off that.
Yeah, it's entertaining too. I know you hear it, and you guys, if you're on the bench and you've got somebody crazy behind you, that'll be a topic of conversation maybe after the game at dinner.
Definitely.
Here's a question from Bree in Tucson, and she asks, "Do you have a favorite place in Tucson to grab a bite to eat?"
Yeah, there's actually a few good places. North, the Italian restaurant. It's in La Encantada. I think it's pretty good for Italian food. And then Obon's a good sushi restaurant downtown.
Nice. I think I've been to that Italian place in Cantata. I've had their pizza there, which is a big shocker that I'd go to a fancy Italian place and order pizza. But I know exactly what you're talking about there. Here's a question coming in. Barry from Tucson, Monica from Tucson. Same exact question. Favorite thing to do in your downtime during, say, the hockey season when you get an afternoon off or a day off?
Yeah, today I went with a couple of guys and we just hit some golf balls for a little bit. It just kind of helps us decompress and kind of it feels good on the body, or even just uh, hanging by the pool is really nice for a lot of the guys.
Being in Arizona and Phoenix, obviously it's the easy one, but it's not too hard to occupy yourself on an afternoon off, is it?
No, no, definitely not.
Here's a question coming in, Bruce from Tucson. He just says, since March, how have you spent time on the ice? And just tell us about the phase two that you guys had when you were skating at Gila River, but more on your own.
Yeah, it was interesting because I went back home and in Toronto, and all the arenas were shut down, so it was pretty hard to find ice. So I didn't really skate too much until I got back for phase two. And I think that phase two is really good with helping get my legs under me before the real training camp.
Here's a question coming in from Robert. Looking pretty good as we can tell leading up to the question, but playoff beard plans, Kyle, so far so good.
Yeah. I've always kind of had facial hair, and my mom always gives me a hard time to clean it up and keep it nice and trimmed and tidy. So I don't know if I'll fully shave it for playoffs or how it's going to work.
Does it do you like having it there when you're the longer it gets, do you like it better, or what's your preference on feel?
I haven't fully grown out like a real beard yet, so that's something I'm kind of looking forward to trying out.
Here's a question, Barbara from Tucson, as we continue the lightning round of questions. Do you have a dog? Do you have a pet? And names for your animals, if so?
Actually, all my family members do, and I'm living with my uncle currently, and he has two dogs, a golden doodle and a German shepherd, and their names are Ollie and Sasha.
Awesome. You seem like you'd be a great guy with animals. Just a nice person, right?
Yeah, the one Ollie's sitting right beside me right now, just watching me do this, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, there we go. Rich from Tucson asked the question, outside of hockey, what do you enjoy doing? Hobbies, community service, any outside interests beyond just the casual couple hours to kill on an off day?
Yeah, no, I love I know a few years before we got into a lot of school visits, and that's really good. My parents, my mom, especially was a teacher. So I always like being involved in the classroom, and so it was nice going in and helping them out.
Awesome. Let's talk some hockey here, because it's doesn't get any better than this. Just over a week away from the first playoff game up in Edmonton. What's the excitement and confidence of the team like as you guys get ready for a long playoff run?
Yeah, I think all the veteran guys are doing a really good job of setting the tempo high in practice. It looks like everyone came back in really good shape and is really hungry to make a long run here.
With the situation, health and safety wise, and everybody just wanting to make sure that that they take care of themselves and are safe. And obviously, we've heard from how the Coyotes are doing it. But what's your daily routine in phase 3 that we're in right now with the training camp, and what's the eating schedule, and how much of the food comes from the team when you're at the rink, and what do you do for dinner?
For the routine with the whole virus and everything, we have to get tested every other day at the Mayo Clinic, and it's an interesting test. It's something we have to do, and I think it's actually good that we're allowed to get tested as often as we can, so we know that we're safe. We also do a check-in on an app. And then we also have to take our temperature before getting the rink and wear a mask while we're at the rink.
All right, Kyle, final question. Is there a veteran D-man or a teammate up with the Coyotes that you've learned or gelled the most with over the last, 3-4 years that you've been up there?
Yeah, I think they've all been really, really nice to me because I've kind of been up and down a little bit and trying to learn as much as I can while I'm up there. I think Demers and OEL were really good, both kind of going through injuries similar to mine, and being able to kind of mentor me and on how to rehab it and kind of what you have to do to warm up and get through the injury.
Well, perfect. Well, Kyle, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot for taking some time on your off day here to answer some of our questions. We're really excited, and we'll keep watching as you guys continue in phase 3 and as you head up to Edmonton. All the best, and we'll catch up soon.
Thanks for having me.